this is Griff. I'm here with the Unarmed Forces podcast, and I'm super stoked today to have Karl Monger from the Gallant few here. He doesn't know the format of the podcast, but it's pretty simple. I'm going to ask you 7 questions. Are you ready?
I wasn't a smart ranger, so.
Yeah, and so I know you can go to 3.
Okay.
All right, cool. So we're going to go just 3 at a time. All right, so this is the Unarmed Forces podcast, and I'm just going to ask you, again, 7 questions, because I know you're a ranger. I got to tell you twice. All right, so just tell us.
3 and 3 plus 1.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. All right, so just tell us about yourself.
Karl Monger, this is the first question?
Yeah,
That's the hardest question of all of them, probably.
Keep it short.
Okay.
All right.
Former ranger, former officer, live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I lead an organization that helps veterans transition from the military.
All right, cool. What's the name of it?
Gallant Few.
Right on, the Gallant few. Very well-known, well-respected organization led by this man. I referred to him earlier as the Godfather of Ranger Veteran Support Organizations, and he truly is, and again, super honored to have you here today.
Thank you. One of my missions has been to get other people involved. It's not a competition to help veterans, and the more people that we can motivate, the better the work. There's more than enough work to go around for everybody. So.
Great. All right, so what's the biggest challenge you faced this past year?
The biggest challenge is people knowing that we're out there. Veterans continue to isolate. When they run into problems, they tend to try to solve it on their own. They don't want to reach out for help, and when you go to a lot of the traditional organizations that are out there, unfortunately the VA is one of them. The counselors there don't have the credibility to have a discussion with a veteran that's been through a combat situation. And so that, when a veteran doesn't trust that credibility, then they're not going to go use that resource. Then they try to solve it by themselves, and we were talking earlier, a lot of them self-medicate with alcohol, some of them do it with harder drugs, and the worse it gets, the more they self-medicate, and it turns into a big spiral, and they tend to isolate, and when they isolate, bad things happen. And so what my biggest challenge is, how do we stop them from isolating? How do we catch them when they return to an area like Dallas or Chicago or Phoenix and get them connected with a strong veteran network that's local, that's in the community, that has the credibility to provide them the kind of support and counseling they need and not let them isolate. And sometimes it's grabbing them by the hair and saying, no, dude, you are not going to isolate. You're going to come out with us. We're not going to go to a bar. We're going to go play ultimate frisbee, or we're going to go to wherever, a coffee place, and just have coffee.
So I'm going to lead into the next question because I feel you're going there.
I'll just keep talking. I just won't stop.
Question number 3. How are you overcoming this challenge, and be really mechanical about it?
Okay. So we couldn't do what we do if it weren't for social media. LinkedIn was a godsend for us initially because Gallant Few began off of 1,000 Rangers that were in a group called the U.S. Army Rangers on LinkedIn. And we found that connecting those guys locally was really important. Same battalion was even better, was the way to keep them from isolating. So mechanically, we've got to get more into social media. We've got to use, whether it's Facebook or Instagram. I'm still trying to figure the Instagram thing out.
I'll help you with that.
I'm not real good at that.
Yeah. Hashtag.
And LinkedIn. And
story.
Yeah, and that's huge to get people aware that we're out here so that we can provide them the resources to connect with other veterans and prevent them from isolating. Second big thing is Run Ranger Run. Every February, we have our annual awareness and fundraising events called Run Ranger Run, and it started back in 2012 when Corey Smith ran from the 3rd Ranger Battalion in Columbus, Georgia to Indianapolis, where he wanted to be the physical embodiment of the difficult journey it takes from being a ranger and a soldier to being a civilian. And along the way, he really raised a lot of awareness and opened some people's eyes to the challenge. So he ran, walked, and biked 565 miles in a month. And we helped him along that way. We provided him all the support to make that happen. And then the following year, we decided to honor what he did, turn it into an event where 10 people come together and combined walk, run, bike, swim, treadmill, anything that you can do to cover distance. And can those 10 people do 565 miles in a month? So it's 56 miles a person, 2 miles a day. It's totally doable, even if you live in Michigan in the wintertime. But that event, when we did that in 2013 for the first time, it provided us enough funds for us to go into operations as a real professional organization, because before that we were a hobby. We were doing this at night and on the weekends, and that's enabled us to get to the point where we are now, helping 1,000 veterans a year. So
Awesome.
this February, runrangerrun.com. Get involved, set up a team.
All right, so this is the question that everybody wants to know. What is your secret sauce?
My secret sauce. It's not a competition. My secret sauce is I'm transparent about everything that I do. I want to help other people, other organizations help more veterans. I'm not, even though I wrote a book, and we're going to talk about that here in a second, this isn't about me. This book, it's coming out of my own pocket to publish it, but all proceeds from the book go back into the organization. So it's my secret sauce is I'm committed to what I do. I owe so much to so many people that have given me opportunities, from serving as an officer in the 1st Ranger Battalion to the guy that mentored me when I was a 9-year-old kid of a single parent. I just want to give back, and that's it. My passion, I guess, is my secret sauce.
Right on. So we're going to take a standard departure from our normal last question, but Karl wrote a book. You're now an author.
I am published author.
You're a published author. I've been meeting plenty of veteran authors lately. It's really inspiring. Well done. It's actually right here. It's pretty.
Got pictures and everything.
Pictures and everything. I'm gonna like it. But what's the name of it?
Common Sense Transition.
And where can you buy it?
You can get it on Amazon. Just search Common Sense Transition on Amazon. It's actually both hardback and softback. Or if you go to karlpmonger.com, you can order one that comes signed from me. Or when you register for Run Ranger Run, you get a chance to go to the Run Ranger Run gear store. And in the Run Ranger Run gear store, you can buy a copy of Common Sense Transition. It's $20.
Right on. Awesome. Now, where can people follow you?
On, Gallant Few on Instagram is the main page. Karl Monger on Facebook. And on Twitter, KP Monger, but I don't do very much there, so Gallant Few. If you just do @Gallant Few, you're going to find us on everything. But if you want to follow me personally, KP Monger, Karl Monger.
Right on. So this has been Karl Monger on the Unarmed Forces podcast. Check out his book, Common Sense Transition. You can follow him on IG, KP Monger. Follow him on Facebook. And you're probably on LinkedIn. And then, as always,
I'm on LinkedIn.
Go to Gallant Few. Thanks, guys. Peace.